The List Game is a conversational improv game. We discuss a hypothetical situation, and our cast has drawn a series of phrases from the chicken hat. Their goal is to slip those phrases into the conversation. Every time they do successfully, they get a point. If someone says, "Hey, that's on your list," and catches them, then they get that point. You can also bluff, making up your own. And if someone calls you, you get a bluff point. Do you tip your waiters, waitresses, bartenders? How about tip your podcasters? We need some help with this. Please go to patreon.com/listgame and give us $1 a month. It adds up to about 25 cents an episode. Contact us at listgame@cox.net, COX. Our Twitter is @thelistgame.
I don't know what it is about your outfit, but it makes me think that you belong in a cartoon from the 60s.
Like what sort of cartoon from the 60s?
A background character in Scooby-Doo or like...
It's the ass.
Yeah!
It's the ass.
Right, yeah.
Fred.
Good job. I don't know, one of those old cartoons with the bands. Remember?
Well, that's also Scooby-Doo.
They
had musical guests.
Yeah, no, I mean like the
like
ones
Baby
like
Joe.
about a centered... Just like Josie and the Pussycats and stuff like that.
Oh, right.
It's definitely the ass guy.
And it's time to shut up. We're ready to play this week's episode of The List Game.
Oh wait, I thought this was Chronosphere Fiction.
There's another skeleton crew today. She wasn't here last week because she found out about the new Walmart opening by her house, but she's here now. It's Kathy Lieberman.
I bought some more pajamas.
And he wasn't here last week because there was wet cement outside of his house. It's Dean Garcia.
I didn't get out. We're just doing this outside my house.
And all I heard about why this guy wasn't here last week is something to do with handcuffs. Mr. Blake Benlan.
It was actually a ball and chain around my ankle.
Is that your girlfriend?
He wishes.
No, it was Mackenzie. It was Mackenzie. She had the key, and she had to fly all the way back from Dubai. Boy, were her arms tired.
Classic.
This week's List Game topic is Hello Kitty, Inspector Gadget, and two other characters of your choice are archaeologists. What great find have they discovered? How will they uncover it? Will they share it with the world? Or how will they profit from it? And the floor is open.
Floor is open. Well, we'll have to make sure nobody falls through it in that case.
Yes.
Don't have to dig as much when you're an archaeologist when it's already open.
Hello Kitty. I was kind of reading up a little bit on Hello Kitty, and
You don't hear that every day.
she apparently she comes from a long line of a culture called cuteness culture, kawaii in Japan. And she was created in, of course, our modern days, and it was stemming from a culture that actually started in the 1600s when women were allowed to be added to the Neo-Confucius culture.
Is kawaii in your list?
No, it's not.
Oh.
Come on, you think Daniel would include that?
I don't know. Who knows?
So she, getting along, Hello Kitty, I'm going to call a she. I believe it's a she. Yes,
I think so.
Yes, and she actually lives in London. And
She lives in London.
well, she's a character from London. Yeah, the Japanese woman who invented her, who she's real. She's not invented, but the woman who found her was Japanese and made her, and she's grown up in.
It was kind of like a Jurassic Park thing. That's where the archaeology bit comes in with her.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, as they found this fossilized thing and they took the DNA out of it.
Oh,
and
and that
made it come to life, and it was Hello Kitty.
That makes sense because, well, she's an archaeologist. I think that what they did is they actually spliced in archaeological DNA into her, and she grew up as an archaeologist. Naturally. So what she found is, it was in America, and it was in the times of this culture of Gingrich culture. And
Newt Gingrich?
Newt Gingrich, that's right. I think that's the guy. The culture was about, getting back to the kitty, what is Hello Kitty? Hello Kitty was introducing women in this Neo-Confucius culture, and it was cuteness. And that women were there, no mouth, cuteness, silent expression of emotion.
Until they expose those saber-toothed tiger teeth, and there goes your wallet.
But as usual, women are silent, right? In these, when they're introduced.
There's no way there's any truth to this origin story for Hello Kitty.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Sounds like
There's
way
something
too much
on your list.
Yeah, I just can't figure out what.
Well, let me continue. Here's my. So she.
Isn't Hello Kitty Japanese?
Well,
That's what she
it was
said.
invented from Japanese, but when they found her bones and spliced her in with the archaeologist bones, she appeared. She was birthed, test tube baby, in Japan, but she actually, the baby when it was born, was born in England.
I'm sorry.
But I thought Hello Kitty was a part of the archaeological team, not the archaeological discovery itself.
Well, no.
Well, that's
She
why
was-
she's part of the archaeological team, is because that's her background.
Yeah,
That's where
it
came
could be
from.
both. She could have been an archaeological discovery as well as being an archaeologist.
Is Neo-Confucian culture on your list?
No.
Damn.
Oh my God.
So, getting back to what did Hello Kitty discover? Well, Hello Kitty represents an introduction of a subculture, the minority culture of women, into this very male-dominated culture of Confucianism and how men are, they've described men in this culture. Well, when women are introduced into this culture, they're silent and, kind of maybe not the most best description of women. Well, Hello Kitty found this from the Newt Gingrich. There's these old, I think there were cemeteries that they're in somewhere in the South. And she dug up this idol in one of these coffins. It looked like a doll with a pursed lips and a finger holding up like this.
Do that again?
It looked like Trump, but kind of a dumb version of Trump. Dumber version of Trump.
I was going to say.
As opposed to the current smart version.
It was a blast from the past that was representing what is happening today. What is it? It's the introduction of the dumb male into our present culture, of that it's important to not be
that's
smart.
sexist.
It's important to be dumb, not believe the scientists.
Which segues right into Inspector Gadget. That's
Yes.
how he ended up in there. He was such a horrible inspector, such a terrible detective that
He was
basically
Matthew Broderick, after all.
He was
It
with
was his day off.
He was with all the other archaeologists standing in the soup line. I mean, all the other detectives standing in the soup line. What else do you find standing in the soup line but people that have been digging around all day? So,
Standing in the soup line on your list?
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
good one.
There you go.
Also, Confucius was big in China, not in Japan, so there's something fishy about that.
Well, it was both. Because Neo-Confucianism in the 1600s, I think it actually kind of traveled across to the
I
islands.
thought they were all into that Shinto Buddhism and whatnot.
It was all one big thing, and it's splintered.
Yeah, because there's Hindu and Buddha.
Splintered
and,
off.
wow,
Yeah,
everybody was in
that's
there.
what happened, man.
A lot about Hello Kitty that I just wish I never knew.
But then, Inspector Gadget, with all of his gadgets and stuff, he was really good at digging in the
Oh yeah, he'd be
sands
great
and
for
desert
digging.
and
He's
finding
always got
stuff.
some kind of handy tool at the ready. I feel like he could just produce a whole bulldozer.
You can produce a whole bowl of pot, just looking for it, digging down.
Bowl of pot? you
Bowl
say?
of pot, I
How
say.
would that help an archaeological dig?
Well, while he's digging,
That
he
would
finds
slow it down considerably, I should
Well, you
think.
gotta slow down when you get to certain parts, man, so you don't.
Yeah, you gotta
accidentally
pace
ruin
yourself.
something.
Well, Inspector Gadget's an android. Can he even get high if he wanted to?
No,
Ghost
he's
in
got
the
he's
shell,
got
man, Ghost in
human.
the shell.
He's got human. He's human, but he's got just
He's
parts.
a cyborg.
Yeah, he's a cyborg, not an android.
Oh, okay.
He is human, but he's got mechanical on him.
So
Tools.
does he have
He's got
mu-
the mechanical.
the
got the mech-
organs? Does he have the right organs, or
I
does
think
that
he has
mechanical too?
organs. I think he has a human brain.
Does he have a human brain? Because
Yeah.
things come out of his hat all the time.
Well, I know he's human.
I don't think he has a human brain because, he can produce all these tools and whatnot at will from his person. So you'd think there would have to be some kind of technological link between his brain and the faculties in his body that produce these
I know where his
gadgets.
brain is. There's one part that you never see anything come out of.
His butt.
His penis.
You can watch every episode and nothing ever comes out of there. So that's where they put his brain.
I think the Incredible Hulk
Well, because
needs
that's
to
reserved
be,
for Dr. Claw.
The Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, he needs to be on this archaeological team because...
Well, does he? I feel like he would ruin everything.
Provided that we keep his temper in check.
Well, then he's just Bruce Banner.
Not necessarily. You've seen the Hulk behave in a more civilized manner. We just need to get him to move dirt.
And there
you
were
know,
even
with
periods
his,
of time where they had an injection that they could give him just because it's like, oh, it's time to go fight. We're not going to pretend like we don't know if you're mad or not. We're just going to stick you with this and you're the Hulk for the next day.
Besides, don't forget, Bruce Banner's always angry. According to Bruce Banner in Avengers Part 1.
Well, I'll take your Hulk and make you one better. I think we should have a Transformer on the team to move dirt. That way, first of all, he's good for fighting, and also he can transform into
He actually
one of those.
turns into a scooper truck or something.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need your Hulk.
Well, hey, we can have two characters of
Just
our
to
choice
move
on
dirt?
this team.
We're all just really good
Or
at
to dig.
digging.
He's got,
Okay,
he's
just
got
dig
big
really good, and then
hands,
Hello
strong
Kitty's the
arms.
one who-
I'm sure he can dig quite effectively.
okay, what about Tremors then? We're talking about live.
Yeah, but they're not tame.
Yeah, but so you can.
They're wild.
All you got to do is place humans at the spots that you want a trench dug for. You just place them over there.
yeah,
Thump,
the
thump,
Tremors
thump,
worms?
thump, thump.
Okay, you gotta
Yeah.
have somebody like David Copperfield with a whip, and he's or
Yeah.
who are those two guys with the white tigers?
Siegfried and Roy.
Siegfried and Roy have the Tremors, and they're like whoosh, training the Tremors to dig in the right places and stuff. Except for that one day where Roy got into that accident.
And the Tremor ate them.
Of course, there's always Paul Atreides in Dune with his worms. Yes, so we got diggers. All right.
So what are we actually digging for?
We have Hello Kitty to identify stuff. I want to go back to the Jurassic Park thing, man, because I think at first we're going to find all the dinosaurs with feathers. And I want to see the ones that could not fly, but they were evolving, just so we could prove that whole thing and put that to
Wasn't that-
bed and slap down those people that say Jesus Christ used to ride a dinosaur. Moses had a pet pterodactyl.
Well, I think it's the existence of feathered dinosaurs has already been proven.
Yeah.
But you're not going to convince the people who think Jesus Christ rode a dinosaur to work.
But it goes different. It goes deeper because there's always the one that could mimic what you said. You know, that eventually evolved into the parrot.
Oh, of course.
Well, actually, crows can also
The
mimic what you
Mimic-saurus.
say, which is way creepier than parrots.
Dino want a cracker? Dino want a ribeye?
Crows
those-
also tend to make racial remarks, derogatory things.
Yeah,
I had a crow named Jim. He was horrible.
Dumbo is actually
Yeah,
a
haven't you ever
documentary.
seen the crows in Dumbo?
But see,
They
that's-
were well paid.
But that's the icon that Hello Kitty, what she represented, what she found was the dumb,
Bo.
the dumb Trump. That was it. It turned out to be Trump that she had found. What was the importance that she found in this?
It was because
coffin?
of her Japanese accent. They were on the archaeological dig.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have
They
a
needed to
mouth.
move a bunch of rocks,
She
and
doesn't
she
have a
said,
mouth.
"Go get a dump truck." And everybody, because they couldn't understand her Japanese accent, thought she said, "Get a dump Trump."
This is kind of a non sequitur, but I think we need a goodbye kitty to teach children about loss and death. You know, it should be in the
Sad.
process of decomposition. Yeah. No, it should be dead, dying, in fact.
But like a few weeks later, and she's been in like
It should be so
bathtub.
putrid and stinking
Yeah.
that you want to get rid of it. Hence, goodbye, kitty.
Like, just like really bloated and discolored.
Yeah.
it infects
Pus.
the people who play with it.
Coming out.
The goodbye kitty symbol
Maggots.
will from now on be what we put on like nuclear waste and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It'll have
Nice.
flesh-eating beetles
It would be fun.
crawling in and out of it.
Because speaking of archaeology, let's go to Egypt and hit the pyramids and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of shit to see over there.
You see the mummy, you got those flesh-eating beetles. That's how they clean the corpses.
Yeah, like in those Brendan Fraser mummy movies.
Is a flesh-eating beetle on your list? Oh yeah.
Oh, why don't we
Okay.
get Brendan Fraser from the Mummy movies to be on the team?
Because he sucks.
Hey, excuse you, those Mummy movies were the best.
They were great, but not Brendan.
We need Boris Karloff.
Boris
Sorry,
Karloff,
Brendan,
yeah.
you just weren't cheesy enough.
Well, while we're in Egypt, we should definitely excavate the pyramids of Giza for some, additional tombs that they haven't come
They
across
weren't
yet.
tombs.
What you talking about?
Yeah.
The pyramids
you're
were
so
not tombs. They were
dumb.
never
actually kings buried in them. They were giant batteries that created energy.
Is giant batteries on your list?
No!
That was just so ridiculous. It had to be on your list because they
That's
were
the truth,
totally
man.
tombs.
No way. The tunnels that go under the pyramids went to certain spots in water that had channels that the sun would hit them at certain angles, and they had resonant rooms that reacted to different frequencies, and these things together created energy, which we don't really know what they used that energy for yet. I'm assuming probably something to do with making food or crops.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Ancient Aliens on History Channel says that's what they were for.
I don't know. Egyptians were really
buried
good
in-
at that because they were the ones who made basically the first refrigerator by digging and making kind of like a hole that's bent away from the sun. And I don't know the science behind
That's
it,
also
but
how
it
they-
kept their
Heat
food
transfer.
cool.
Heat
Yeah.
transfer.
It's also how they invented the pit trap. They had an angle at the bottom of the pit trap, and then the animal that fell into the pit trap would fall down the channel, the angle, tunnel, or whatever, into this nice refrigerator area so that it could lay there for a while before they had to worry about cutting it up
Right.
and eating it.
Oh, so good. It would die of being freezing to death?
No, it died from the fall.
Well, maybe if we dig deeper beneath the pyramids, we find extraterrestrial tombs. You know, if indeed, as some suggest, including those on Ancient Aliens on History Channel.
Tombs of the aliens, you say.
Exactly.
Ah.
Tombs of the aliens.
Extraterrestrial
This has been
tombs
found
on your
before.
list.
No.
Oh, it's a point for and actually that has been supposedly somewhat proved before, just on one of those TV shows. I don't know how true it is or not. It was
Yeah,
because
supposedly they point to certain...
right, they point to certain constellations and all that.
yeah.
When they found those tombs, they found fossilized poop, and when they checked the poop, it was not anything of this earth. It was, they could tell, like, yes, this is crap.
This poop is unworldly.
That's right. It was unworldly poo.
Extraterrestrial.
It was actually Roger's poop
There's
from
no DNA
American
in it that
Dad.
matched anything ever alive on our planet.
So this was deep under a mountain or under the pyramids?
Under the pyramids.
Okay.
Did they analyze this supposed extraterrestrial feces at all? Like, you know how they can do fossil DNA, carbon dating, and all
Yeah,
that?
could it belong to an
Did they
Which is
extinct
where the
creature?
Which is where the next person that goes into our team, it's Yukon Jack from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Remember him? Silver and gold,
Yep.
silver and gold. And he's digging with his pickaxe and stuff. And he would accidentally, his pickaxe would go into this alien poo, and he would bring it up and go, and he said, "That's alien poo."
He'd say, this doesn't taste like any other shit I've ever had.
Right? It wasn't silver or gold.
I think it was according to the aliens, droppings could be something like an indication of love, that if they poop here, it's a love thing.
Maybe they're marking their territory.
They're marking their territory, but they're saying there, hey, you know, I love you.
They were trying to teach us to create our own energy without radiation and shit.
Maybe we find ancient
alien
bongos underneath.
Ancient bongos?
Ancient bongos underneath the
Okay,
pyramids.
I just wanted to know if I heard you right.
Yeah, ancient bongos, other such ancient musical
ancient
instruments.
bongos.
Yeah,
ancient
they had to
electric
have music.
Egyptian electric guitars.
They had to have music. I agree.
Heliopolises.
AA batteries.
No, that's what they use the power for, is for their ancient electric guitars.
Yeah, they had every time they had to wait for a bolt
what
of
it
lightning to
was,
come
man.
down.
Hey, according to this stupid documentary I saw, there's hieroglyphs that actually look like little helicopters and submarines. So they had to power them somehow.
So Leonardo da Vinci copied those.
Maybe if we dig deep enough, we find a tomb belonging to a pharaoh who is blind. So all the walls have, what is it, braille,
Yeah.
hieroglyphs?
These hieroglyphs are very bumpy.
So if we have any blind
It was-
archaeologists...
Even if they weren't
could
blind, it's
totally-
like it's dark down there, man.
Well, that's true. I guess you'd have to be able to read the indentations in the wall. So dark down there. I mean, unless you have like a light powered by those AA batteries.
Yes, by the magic energy of the pyramids.
Or the little boy that's shining the sunlight down with his mirror.
The pyramids harnessed the energy from the fossilized alien poo.
Ooh, yes. Yum. That's
It's
right.
science, guys.
Yeah.
And that's why when you find the Sphinx, what's missing?
His nose.
His nose.
What? I was right?
I thought he just snorted too much coke or something.
No,
The Germans gave him too much coke. Boom, boom, boom.
It was smelling that alien poo. he either hacked his own nose off because he didn't want to smell it, or it just rotted right off his head.
Actually, if you knew history, you would know that the Flash is responsible for the nose missing on the Sphinx. I'm sorry.
What did the Flash do?
He went back in time and hit a villain with the nose and then went back. So get your history right.
Go back to my DC comics when you're into archaeology.
So has anybody seen that fantastic Super Mario Brothers movie, the live-action one with Bob Hoskins
I've only seen
and
the memes.
John Leguizamo? Well, they stumble upon the Mushroom Kingdom during an archaeological dig. So maybe that's what we're looking for.
The Mushroom Kingdom.
Nah.
Yeah, the Mushroom Kingdom, you know.
Are we talking about the Smurfs?
No, Mario. Mario. And Luigi Mario.
So from opening this doorway to the Mushroom Kingdom, they get, oh my God, I just remembered what Bowser looked like in those movies.
That's also where they discovered of the pyramids that were tombs, it was always the richest people, and that was because they had money to earn.
I don't get it.
Earn, where you put your ashes when you're dead.
Wow.
Oh, that is
There's your
good.
pun
That is
for the
good.
day.
Good try.
Damn me.
Thank you.
I think we should go digging for the bones of Gilgamesh.
Who was
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh?
Nobody else?
Remind me.
Sounds familiar.
You know, wasn't he like Hammurabi?
And Baba Booey.
You know, the great Baba Booey, Howard Stern's penis Baba Booey.
Well, he played the part of the
Okay.
mummy in The Mummy.
Howard Stern.
Very good.
Howard Stern.
Hey now.
The geezer of
flabby
Giza.
bandage-looking thing.
Oh my God, that was a saggy ass.
He is gangly. He does look kind of like a corpse.
Yeah.
Maybe we go digging for the bones of Sinbad.
Sinbad.
Isn't he-
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I
the
thought he was still
comedian.
alive.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, the original Sinbad.
I thought we were going to use something that he used on
You
those
guys have
bones.
seen that Disney movie. Let's go find the bones of Aladdin.
But we'd have to be ocean
Aladdin's in the
archaeologists
future.
then, because Sinbad was buried at sea.
mean in
He's
the
in
future?
Davy Jones' locker with all
Well,
the.
nobody said you can't have an archaeological dig under the sea.
That's right.
That's what. Maybe we need some diver. We need
Under the
Aquaman
sea.
on our team.
We need SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
I don't know. SpongeBob
Aquaman.
strikes me as the incompetent.
We'd never
type.
get anything done.
How are we gonna get Aquaman on the team? His royalty, wouldn't he be all like, I got
I don't
too
know.
much to
Jason
do.
Momoa seems pretty laid back. I think he'd do it.
You want me to
Give you a
dig
couple
up my
grams of weed.
backyard and give you what I find?
We'll give you 10 grams of seaweed.
I once met Jason Momoa and accidentally nicked him with my cosplay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nicked him.
Yeah,
Which
give him a little-
cosplay was that?
I was doing my Scarecrow cosplay, and one of my gauntlets had one of the vials were broken, and I was taking a picture with Jason Momoa, and when I moved my arm away from his back, it cut his arm.
So
He
you
was
cut
just-
Jason
Yeah, he
Momoa.
cut
Been a
Jason Momoa.
scarecrow ever since.
You really are a super villain, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
He gave him a scab he won't forget. Did
He has pictures of me on his wall.
Did he kick
gonna
your
get
ass
you.
after that?
No, he just kind
Did
of
he
like
go all Khal Drogo on you?
he held the back of his arm and kind of just looked at his security guard, like whispering. Like,
What did that guy just give me? Hepatitis C?
It was all right. I already had it. So we could. I know this is pretty basic, as it were, but during our excavations, we could stumble across simply precious stones, say diamonds, black pearls, perhaps.
Obelisks.
Pre-made obelisks.
Made of diamonds? Yes.
They were formed by geographic chance or
The
geological
original
chance,
obelisks
that
were
is.
only about the size of your pinky finger, and they had a little scoop at the end of the pyramid at the top of the obelisk, and it was actually a tool for cleaning inside your nose and getting the buggers out. And they loved this tool so much that they eventually started making big giant ones to worship because they had the cleanest noses.
Maybe they fashioned them for like bigger noses, you know?
yeah, the giant
The
nose.
giants, yeah.
They used to export them to Easter Island.
And see, the giants would use them, and then the little people would go up to the obelisks, lick them because they liked the giant
Oh.
salt. That's where salt came
And that's
from
where
originally.
salt came from.
Yeah.
Sweet.
One giant booger, as long as you didn't mind eating boogers, fed
well-
a city for a week.
So we're all praying to the obelisk of boogers.
I'm surprised you haven't bring up beaver. I mean, what's his
Gopher?
name? Gopher. Yeah, to
Let's talk
be
about
be one of the
beaver.
diggers.
I haven't got there yet. Oh my gosh, why didn't I think of
Yeah,
that?
He
Right?
burrows. He
He
burrows.
burrows,
Yeah.
you know, and we could convince
Gopher's
him.
the best
He's a
because he
natural
makes
archaeologist.
tunnel style stuff, and instead of a lamp on his little helmet, he could a camera. Yeah,
Or
his
he-
little GoPro or whatever.
with a little lamp on top, so then he can see.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Gopher can see in the dark. He just has the lamp there for our benefit.
for just for
got the
show,
night.
and we could offer him beavers to, you know, do what he wants with them.
Those fine Egyptian beavers.
Ah, yes, the ancient beavers.
We can pay him in all the sarcophagus dust that we come across.
The mummified beavers.
Well, figure he's digging in dirt and he likes it and stuff. So yeah, sarcophagus dust is probably like prime grade.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very fine,
Cut it
fertile.
into lines.
Always goes back to that.
Well, if
Here,
you're
but
talking
this game,
about
we snort
Gopher,
dirt
I
and
mean, you're
eat
talking about
people.
Gopher, yeah, it's got to go there. Why else would he be hanging out with some old beaver?
I think we also discover yellow granite beneath the soil. You know, that we
Oh.
can fashion for construction and whatnot.
For false gold?
That's right.
Yellow.
Well, you know how it
Some
got
yellow
yellow? That's from the ancient Fraggles.
Of course.
And they had the ancient Doozers building the candy structures that were the
Foundation.
The foundation.
And we can repurpose this yellow granite
And then they would take-
for our own construction purposes.
Yes, they would take the granite of different colors and build it on top of the Doozer structures. And then when it was built, you could eat the Doozer structure and it would settle in perfectly.
I thought you were gonna make some joke about them peeing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I
I
thought,
thought
it was,
about it, but it was too easy.
I thought you were talking about like the yellow snow. It was the yellow
Yeah.
granite.
That's right. It's like ordinary granite, but it's been pissed
Yeah,
on.
but I mean, like Fraggles had to pee a lot. They had tiny bladders.
It used to be purple granite, you see. Fraggle urine is very acidic, you see.
Oh, that's how they got all the smooth stones that nobody knows about. It's like, how did they have these tools to smooth out the quartz into these fine, perfectly round things and geodescents and all that? They didn't have these tools and they didn't have lasers and stuff. It was
Acidic piss.
acidic Fraggle pee.
Acidic urine, yeah.
It's really because they were chopping up that dust, their lines of dust, and then that's how it got
and
smooth.
then after you snorted the sarcophagus dust, you cried. You would have these tears, but the tears had the sarcophagus dust in it, which you could rub on quartz crystals to make them really smooth.
Yeah.
So you had to have the one guy that wore the big headdress, giant hat.
My thoughts exactly.
And then they would do the human sacrifices on it too, and the blood would also have the acidity
Well,
in it.
wait, if you're going human sacrifice, I say we're not in Egypt anymore. Now we're going to South America.
You don't think they killed people? You don't think
Oh, they
killed
killed people, but the
Well, I mean,
people...
Everybody
sacrifice.
kills
Well,
people.
it was more like they didn't have like sacrifices.
Whoa,
I don't
whoa,
remember
whoa,
the
yes,
sacrifice.
they
I mean,
did.
like they did,
They
but
didn't have
like
like sacrifices to God so much, but
It was much bigger in Mayan culture.
Yeah.
Right, and
Aztec
don't forget that
culture.
The Egyptians, especially all the cities along the Nile, like Giza and Hotep and what's the name? Sarakas and even Abu Ghraib, it's still there now, all along the Nile. A lot of those pyramid structures and stuff, now they're like 8 miles from the Nile, but at that time, the Nile was like, boom, it was right there. And they had a lot of slaves. And those slaves were white. And most of the families
They were
that
Jews.
owned the slaves were black. Yeah, they were white and Jews. And it's like, so, you hear that thing about America in 400 years and stuff. Well, I got news for you, dude. That was more like 4,000 years.
So it's interesting. So the Egyptians used people and manpower and slaves to actually make things. The Mayans just killed them.
Oh, yes, back to
Weird.
the human sacrifice.
Why?
Well, no. If you killed somebody in just the right way,
Right.
it brought the right kind of rain.
But why?
And
Making
everything that you needed
sacrifices to the gods.
Well, maybe they had
just a
too
part of
many
their religion.
people. I mean, I'm just wondering why
Well, yeah,
one
that's-
culture
that's
would kill.
Probably
others.
part of the secret there, too.
Well,
It's
didn't
like,
the
okay.
Mayans straight up disappear?
Something that our own world should think about now is like, okay, we got too many people.
It
maybe
goes
it's-
down to like 2 people,
Stupidity,
and they
yeah.
say to each other, "Oh, maybe we shouldn't have sacrificed so many folks."
the other one pulls out a knife. I don't know. Sun God looks kind of angry.
Booyah!
And so Hotep was one of these also, these Egyptian. You're saying that's an Egyptian place.
Hotep was Egyptian. Yes, you're right. And yeah. If you're going back down to South America where the human sacrifices were, that's where you had Owa was the sun.
Listen to you.
And Tana was the rain, right? So you guys repeat after me. Okay, when they wanted it to rain, they would all put their hands in the air and they'd make like little rain fingers. And they would
And
say,
wave them like they just didn't care.
they would say Tana Siam. So everybody repeat that. Say Tana Siam.
Tana Siam.
Tana Siam.
Then it would get too rainy and they'd need the sun to come out. So they'd call Oa and they'd say, Oa, making their arms really big like the sun. Oa Siam, right? To that?
Siam.
There's got to be something on your list.
Okay, now, listen up. Now, it would either be too wet or it would be too dry from the sun and the rain. Because every time they did it, it worked really good. You got too much rain or they got too much sun. So they finally figured they had to combine the two. And it went like this. Your arms would get big, and then you make the rain fingers go down, and you would say, Oa, Tana, Siam. Now repeat that 3 times.
Uh-oh. This is like a...
Together. Wait, let me count it. 1, 2, ready, go. Tana, Siam. Again. Oa, Tana, Siam.
Are we
Now
summoning an ancient spirit?
Oa, Tana,
Tana, Siam.
I know it's a
You didn't get it?
Thing.
Do it again one more time, really
It's a
fast.
Simpson
Fast.
thing. Owa Tana Siam.
Tana Siam.
Oya Tana Siam.
You're not pronouncing it right. It's
Owa,
Owa, Tana, Siam.
Siam.
Now say it faster.
Owa
Tana
Tana Siam.
Again.
Tana Siam.
Yes.
Tana Siam.
Yes.
Tana Siam.
And you didn't get it yet.
No.
Okay. I just tricked you guys
Owa,
into saying, what an ass I am, like 7 times.
Okay, I see. Okay, yeah, sure.
Oh, is that on my list? Come on, ask me. Come on.
If Sam were here, he'd do it.
Is that on your list? Okay.
I think we need to go back to Egypt. I think we need to find Tutankhamun's twin brother.
He has a twin brother.
That will become apparent once we find his twin brother
Yes.
buried
Yes,
beneath
his
the Great
twin brother
Pyramid.
was Toot very common.
He was coming. He was coming.
He was
like-
Toot off common.
He tooted more often. He was more inclined to toot.
That's why nobody want to remember him.
Toot sweet.
He was buried in Osiris's loincloth.
Uncommon was made a king because he never farted.
And the loincloth serves as an invisibility cloak.
Did you say the Egyptian thong?
Yeah, the Egyptian thong.
A new invention.
They invented it, you know.
The thong was invented in Egypt, and of course they made all the slaves wear them. So that if
Right.
you wanted to get a little slave action, you could just pull the thong over a little bit and go to town.
And some of the pharaohs wore them too, because they liked how their butts looked in them.
That's right.
That's where those paintings of the phallus of Horus, you really get a whole visual of it when he's wearing a thong.
Dean's the expert on the
is the guy
phallus
with
of
the
Horus.
Yeah.
Does it have feathers?
Oh yeah. Most definitely, probably.
Is phallus of Horus on your list?
It is.
The phallus of Horus.
Phalluses are always at the top of Dean's list.
I should have phrased it differently.
Well, when I put that in there, I was thinking of Horus as more like WHORES.
Different Horus we're talking about. The patron saint of escorts.
Now, don't forget, we're all sitting in Santa Barbara right now, so we have to do a little archaeological digging that has to do with the Chumash Indians,
Yeah.
We find an ancient casino.
where they had money to earn.
Yeah.
URN, right?
Okay.
So the Chumash, this is the dig I remembered in Santa
I
Barbara.
think they have
is
some ancient anal beads.
They still have this kind of recording device near them where you can hear them pulling them out.
No, it's there where they're finding other sex objects like the obelisk of love, where they were sitting on them.
Oh!
You know how you mentioned sticking it in your nose?
Why are you
Well,
really
there's-
into obelisks?
Nothing you can't do with an obelisk.
I wanna.
You gotta shape it just right.
Yeah, it's got to be shaped.
Gotta get in the nooks and crannies.
Well, it's got to be able to like.
The
got a
obelisk
little
of love on
obelisk.
your list.
Yes, it is.
It's got a little obelisk right next to it.
I was worried. I was worried.
I-
That's
you,
why-
you set that up nicely. You set that up real well.
That's why you bring up obelisks earlier,
yeah,
because you
but-
wanted to sneak it in there.
Yep. I was.
That was
We
good.
started
That
was
was
talking
good.
fumbling.
about giant boogers
I
instead.
know. I was fumbling.
I was doubtful.
Okay, so back to the Chumash. Okay, we're digging down there. And what you find that a lot of people found unusual, and it has more to do with when they encountered the Spaniards and stuff, is they had all these uses for burlap sacks that people didn't think of. And they would trade stuff to the Spaniards for these burlap sacks. And the most unusual and famous burlap sack tradition that the Chumash had is they would take them apart, so it was kind of like just a big sheet. It wasn't a sack anymore. And they'd sew 4 of those together, and they'd lay them on the ground, and they would throw rotten fruit and vegetables all over it and squish it in there and make it like this big slippery mat. And then the Chumash bride and groom that were about to be married would meet in the middle of this slippery, gooey mat, and they would wrestle.
Oh, that's
I've got to
very
ask,
creative.
is burlap sack on your list?
No, it's a bluffer point there. So the bride and groom that were going to get married would wrestle on this gooey mat thing, and it was made out of sacks, and they knew the word sack because they learned it from the Spaniards. The name of the tradition was called chumasack.
Chumasack?
And all the tribe would be around this thing, cheering the bride and the groom on, going, chumasack, chumasack, chumasack.
You are so funny.
chumasack."
That was pretty good. That was
Thank
pretty
you.
good.
Boy,
Yeah,
I
I'm
want to
here
call
all
him.
week.
You know, might as well just give him a point. Is Chumasack on your list?
No!
That was so elaborate. That was a pretty good story.
So back to the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
It's been a
Now,
while.
the Mushroom Kingdom, I am sure it does exist, like where the Mayans and the Aztecs and all that stuff was. It's not where the pyramids are. Because they had to have the plumbing for all that blood to drain somewhere. And that's how you ended up with like plants that open up and try to eat you that come up out of the pipes because they're looking for that blood. Hey, you stop draining blood down the pipes.
Yeah, they do have some of the craziest plant fauna down in that South
we
America
should,
place.
Yeah.
Harvest psychedelic video game mushrooms from the Mushroom Kingdom and sell them wholesale. Make a fortune.
I don't know. I think I would
Fried
like those flowers that make you into a flame superhero. You know the flowers?
Well, I've
that-
seen some
yeah,
flowers
fire
turn
flowers.
people into flamers.
No, I think it would be more fun to chuck fireballs at someone than sit on your couch and look at a blank TV for a couple hours.
Yeah, so talking about the mushrooms, so Egypt didn't really have, well, I'm not going back to Egypt, but just curious. You know, there's a lot of psychedelics in South America, but nothing in Egypt, right? It
Egypt
was just
had
ferment-
mushrooms. They had
Oh, they
something.
did?
Well, they had something.
Well, what about alcohol? Like, was it just
anything
alcohol?
ferments?
Yeah,
Fruit
but,
ferments.
but psychedelics is so important.
Oh, and they had the
to-
Nile River, so they had the toads that you could lick.
Oh, okay.
I think those are only in Colorado.
And the hemlock. Hemlock is an English thing or European thing, right? That's a
isn't that a
hallucinogenic.
poison?
Oh, okay.
Hemlock,
You're right.
I
You're
would
right.
believe that hemlock would also be in Egypt and stuff because it was common in
Yes,
Greece.
right? Because Socrates
And so
used
it must
hemlock.
have been all
Yeah,
over
yeah.
the place.
That's what Socrates
Yeah,
took.
but
when
it's
he
not
killed
a
himself.
hallucinogen. It's not. I thought
Well,
it
maybe
was.
you hallucinate before you die.
Dude, it gets you so high, you're dead.
Well, maybe that's why the Egyptians were so productive because they didn't have
mean their
hallucinogens.
slaves?
Yeah, they had their slaves,
Slaves were
but
so productive.
I don't know. Maybe the lack of hallucinogens was.
Man, this whipping sure makes me tired.
I sure could go for a glass of some ice cold lemonade.
You guys want some? Ha, just kidding, you're slaves.
You don't get any. Here, I'll whip you some more.
As a manager, I love my motivational tactics.
I like to think we have fun here on the job. We build things.
These are quotes, by the way.
It's a team effort.
that you find in hieroglyphs. Hieroglyphs?
Hieroglyphs?
Yeah, South America must have been pretty cool. I mean, no wonder why they did the human sacrifices because they were just
were tripping
fucked
all
up
the
on-
time.
Yeah, it was just
They had
like
salvia too.
And down there, somewhere under their pyramids, is where we're going to find the ancient spaceship.
True, Ancient Aliens tells me that the Mayans were also connected to Ancient Aliens.
Well, I mean, how'd they come up with pyramids too, man?
They all had the same idea
like,
at the
it's
same
the
time.
same shape.
Coincidence?
Well, they tried,
No.
the Mayans tried globes first, but the sand kept falling.
globes. Yeah, exactly.
They tried globes, and the sand kept falling down the sides, and it just naturally just fell into the shape of a pyramid.
They tried cylinders, but you couldn't climb up those too easy. There was a lot of trial and error over the geometric shapes in
It's
which to fashion their holy monument.
And they found that the pyramid was the funnest to watch a body roll down after you cut its heart out.
Yes.
They were like, oh, well, man, I think we found it. Although their pyramids did differ. The pyramids in Egypt.
They're smooth while
yeah,
they're...
exactly. They're
So
smooth.
ones
Over
are like...
in,
burp, burp,
over
burp,
in
burp.
Aztec land, exactly.
I
There
think
are
that's-
steps. It's more straight lines.
Yeah, I think it's because of the South American people.
They were a little bit more lazy.
Yes,
It took a lot
I
more-
didn't know if that was PC or not.
It took a lot more work to make the side smooth all the way
fucking,
up.
let's
It's like,
just
nah,
fucking put
we're gonna make
steps in it.
stairs. It
It's
takes half
okay,
the time.
Kathy. You're a Jewish woman.
I
You can
know.
get away with saying a lot.
They wanted to copy the Egyptians' homework, but they didn't want to copy it too much.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't want the teacher to call them on. God himself comes down from the heavens and says, hey, come on, do your own work.
Mayans, can I talk to you after class?
Were the aliens that came down, and the two alien teachers split off, and one of them went to the Mayans, and one of them went to Egypt, and those two alien teachers didn't necessarily agree on the way things should be done.
I think Marvin the Martian was one of them.
So what about the African gods? I mean, were they just like crazy gods? In Africa, they didn't really build anything, did they?
Oh, now we're getting politically
Well,
incorrect.
I
They haven't done
know.
they haven't done a day's work in their life.
The Africans built the most advanced stuff, is what happened. They built the most advanced stuff of the different aliens that went to the different places. The Africans were the only ones who got it right. And their pyramids and spaceships and shit that they built actually left the planet and went somewhere else.
That makes perfect
And that's
sense.
why the people that got left behind were the people that they didn't like anymore.
Slaves.
I mean, look at
Yeah, there you go.
What did you say,
You weren't high on the
Boy, it's a good thing.
on the list of caste system.
Kevin pops up from under the couch. We haven't talked about the crew for a while now. Are we?
It's true, the people we utilize for this archaeological
Like, how
dig,
are they
wherever
digging for
the
the
shovels?
Like when they.
I fired Hello Kitty when we got to Egypt. She kept pooping in the sand and burying it so one of us would dig it up later.
And people would be all like, "What's this poop? I don't know."
No, we're all
Could be
we're
alien.
thinking it's ancient alien poop, and Hello Kitty's over there laughing.
How is she laughing without a mouth?
No, she
Through her
she's-
nose.
She eats it and poops it from the same hole.
Ew.
Because we don't have. She doesn't have a mouth. She's just. Eat.
That's just disgusting.
Well, if you want to get technical, we eat and poop from the same hole too. It starts here and goes all the way down there.
But it has various sphincter blockers in it.
Yeah.
Aren't you familiar with the sphincter blockers, Dean? Basic anatomy. Hello. I mean,
They're
Well, it
suctions.
used to be our sphincter blockers were just like stick your hand in your gut to stop.
You had to hold your hand there while you
mixture
digested.
of the food and the poop, and then you release it, and then
It just drops.
I've been there.
That's why Napoleon's always putting his hand in his coat. he's digesting his
Yeah,
food.
he wasn't born with a sphincter blocker, so he's got to do it manually.
If I don't keep my hand here right now, I'm gonna have a big shark.
Sacre Dieu! Oh, c'est terrible!
The real reason why they exiled him.
He was stinking up the joint.
Like, dude, every meal.
Come on, Monsieur Napoleon.
Well, let him eat cake. Let's see what happens. Maybe we'll block this guy up. Quick, give him some
yeah.
cheese.
Le fromage.
I fired Inspector Gadget too because I caught what he was doing with Hello Kitty.
Dear.
Well, I didn't fire him, but we started a YouTube channel, or actually Pornhub.
But he's so handy dandy.
Exactly.
Which incarnation of Inspector Gadget is this? Is this Matthew Broderick from the
I was
live-action
actually
movies?
imagining
Oh, there's
the
more than
animated
one. Oh, I only
series?
thought of the
was a-
cartoon.
Yeah, me too. I was only thinking about the cartoon the whole time. What was it? Dr. Claw or Professor Claw? I always imagine villains having PhDs because
Except for when they were in China, then it was Mr. Craw.
I have a little Mongolian in me, so I can do whatever I want.
I thought you kicked that guy out.
I brought him back last night. That's why I have a little Mongolian in me.
Actually, I have 284 indicators of Neanderthal in me. I did the 23andMe, yes. So I got some Neanderthal in me. No. But I mean, I've got like, well, I guess it's not that great.
She's got like 2 tablespoons. Some of it's dripping out.
Her ancestors were getting a bit frisky. They were just like, "I love your prominent brow."
Oh, yeah. Love that protruding forehead.
It's like the Klingon women. That's what I'm like.
You know, when they found where the humans or Neanderthals or whatever that actually tried to domesticate woolly mammoths, and you know, they did end up killing them and eating them. Like American Indians and stuff, they tried to use every part of the mammoth, and they found proof that part of the woolly mammoth's wool and skin was used as like maxi pads.
And then they washed them, and then they put them on for a headache.
Toupee.
Toupee.
The toupee thing was not like,
Not like the
it wasn't
obelisk
like hair
of
on their
love.
head. They actually used it as a form of money, and so they used it to pay. You guys ready to count up some points? When my jokes get that bad, I think that means we're about done. Oh my gosh, Kathy's on fire today. She got 2 bluff points, and she called 2. Which ones did you use,
The
Kathy?
gods must be crazy.
The gods must be crazy.
Deep Under the Mountains. That was easy, thank you. Human Sacrifice, that was another easy one. And I freaking this was a total cheat, but I threw it in there as a list of things we were talking about. I just said Heliopolis. Is that fair?
Heliopolis is how to pronounce that.
Okay.
That might be a half pointer.
Okay, do a half pointer because it was just kind of thrown in
Okay.
with a list of.
Dean, you got no bluff points. What up, man?
I
Put out
guess-
some game.
I'm not being weird enough
Throw
with
some
my
game
words.
in, man. What do you got?
I got licking the obelisk. I got ancient beavers. I try to get the phallus of
Ancient
Horus.
beavers. Wait, I got it. This is a historic moment. I put ancient beavers in the hat, and it didn't end up in my hand. All right. I put beavers in the hat, and I didn't get it.
Yeah, that's why I was all like, why didn't we talk about gopher?
Okay, so you got licking an obelisk, which you do every day, and you got
Ancient beavers. I mentioned the geyser of Giza, but it didn't really stick to anything.
Darn, I thought that was brilliant too. The geyser of Giza.
Yeah.
Blake called 2, and he got a bluff point. What else?
Damn.
I was called on flesh-eating beetles. I got the loincloth of Osiris.
Oh, wow.
Sarcophagus dust.
Yeah, you did. Now we were talking about that for a while.
Fossil DNA. Bones of Aladdin. Braille hieroglyphics.
Oh, my God. That one.
I mentioned purple granite, but it didn't really catch on.
I heard yellow granite. I did
I was
not hear
setting it
purple.
up.
Okay.
I
I remember hearing something about Sinbad, but I don't remember Aladdin.
I brought up the
I
bones
believe
of
it.
Aladdin.
Yeah. All right.
Bring up Aladdin?
Oh, you threw that one in again.
I did, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, first I brought up
half a point.
like Gilgamesh,
You're right.
and then
that's
Sinbad,
right.
and
Yeah.
then
Today.
Aladdin.
That's
And then
true,
I
that's
informed you
true.
Aladdin's in
Yeah.
the future,
That's
not
true.
the past.
Oh, it's going to be close between you two. All
Damn
right.
it.
I got
I think
only 2 bluff points. You would think I would have got a lot more off of this one. I tried.
Oh, well,
You did well.
You had some
I was-
great.
I was-
Okay, then I got the crying headdress. I got the pit trap at the bottom of the angled well. I got dinosaurs with feathers. I got money to earn. I got fossilized poo.
Fine first.
And then I also got the Sphinx's nose. Kathy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. Dean has 2.5. Come on, Dean. Boo. Blake has 8.5.
Damn it. I'm getting closer, buddy.
I'm impressed. I thought you had it.
I have 9. So, if you want to get not too technical about it, it's a tie between me and Blake. All right, man. That is another successful episode of the List Game brought to you by
Stay Vision.
An anthology of stories in a universe of universes. A podcast called Chronosphere Fiction. Immerse yourself in the worlds of Gafgarn the Eternally Unfurnished. Monday through Friday at the Smith's residence. Thicker than water. These and more are waiting for you on the podcast, Chronosphere Fiction.
Hey, this is Sasha.
And Courtney from the podcast
Spoop Hour.
We are a paranormal comedy podcast hosted by 2 certified Halloweenies who laugh through our fear of literally everything.
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 You can find us on the internet at Spoop Hour, SPOOPHOUR, on Instagram and Twitter, or you can reach out to us via email, spoophour@gmail.com, where you can share any creepy happenings that have happened to you, or people you know, or things that you've heard down the grapevine.
Spoop line, am I right,
Oh, the
ladies?
Spoop line.
So come get ghosted with us, pee your pants because of cryptids, just have a grand old time.
It's fun.
Hey, this is Clay,
This is Corey.
and we are the Two Dads Review Podcast. What do we talk about, Corey?
Movies?
Yes.
TV shows?
Yes.
And we're dads?
Are those all questions?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, find all that and more over at twodadsreview.com and your favorite podcast app.
Love movies?
Love MoviePass?
Don't know what MoviePass is?
Well, you're in luck because there's a new podcast dedicated to all things MoviePass.
The MoviePass pod is hosted by a father and son team
Keith and Noah.
who love movies. We talk MoviePass news, advice, review movies, and a bunch of other fun stuff. We're trying to watch 100 movies in theaters in 2018 with the help of MoviePass. Will we make it? I don't know, but we're gonna have fun trying. You can find the MoviePass pod on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, or your favorite podcast app on both iOS and Android. Our official site is themoviepasspod.podbean.com. We also have a WordPress site where you can find all our totals, movie reviews, and other fun stuff.
Listen before Frozen in Carbonite.
Hey everybody, we are the Derailers, Goobs, Ripken, and Jenny Bean, and you can join us once every week for a brand new derailment. It includes sidetracking, randomness, we just can't stay on topic.
You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Derailers.
And please subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, and also on YouTube.
Derailers! Hi, I'm Chris, I'm the Believer.
I'm Cody, I'm the Skeptic.
And together we are BSP, the Idiot Syncrasy Files.
The podcast where two idiots discuss weird phenomena. This week we're talking about ghosts.
I believe in ghosts.
Why?
There's too much weird stuff in the world for it to be coincidental.
See, I don't, because ghosts are souls, and shirts, pants, and jockstraps do not have souls. These ghosts should be naked.
My jockstrap has a soul.
Moving on. Join us every week where we talk about cool phenomena ranging from
skinwalkers
to
simulacra.
There you go. Bye! Find us on Google Play, iTunes, and all those other podcasting places, or visit us at www.bspodphx.com.